White Feather. So the last time we had played this deck, it felt a little bit mediocre getting picked apart against the Thoughtseize decks in the format. That being said, last time we played it, we didn't have Showdown of the Skalds in our 75, and this is definitely a stellar card against Thoughtseize heavily interactive decks. This is a card that can generate card advantage for us. It finds us more threats. It makes those threats bigger. It finds us our other tools that we're looking for. So I think there's a chance that this card helps solve some of those kind of wrong half problems getting picked apart against the decks that are heavily interactive. So I've also got because we're going bigger to hit Showdown, we've also got some Goldspan Dragon to the top end of the curve to have a little hasty punch power as well. Just higher individual card quality. A notable omission from this build is Soulscar Mage, and I don't really hate that omission. I think being a little bit bigger and having our cards be a little bit more individually powerful as something like Goldspan Dragon has a lot of appeal if we're looking to play through people's interaction a little bit more. So let's dive on into some games with this and see how it goes. Maybe we'll make some changes along the way. We're going to start with what we've got here. We're playing 24 lands to start. I wouldn't be surprised if with the spell lands, 25 or 26 could even be correct. Both Shatterskull Smashing and the deal 1 exile thing are like pretty reasonable spells, all things considered. I usually err on the side of more lands rather than less lands. I enjoy getting to play Magic. Seems super reasonable. If we draw a 5th land on 1, we're going to save this to be a spell. If we draw a spell on 1, I'm going to play this tapped. Rude. But my haste, chat. But my haste. Hey, Rudy, thanks for the 27 months. I appreciate the prime. Welcome back. There's no Bonecrusher deck she'd bring it against anyways. That's just not true, Kelvin. The Tocatli Honor Guard's extra toughness, you want to Tocatli Honor Guard's effect against Mayhem Devil decks. And Mayhem Devil needing to spend an extra trigger to kill Tocatli Honor Guard is exceedingly relevant. I think we just play Feather, right? Because I could do Reckless Rage twice next turn to kill the Primate. I think we just do this and hope for no removal from them. And hope Reckless Rage takes over. We need this to not get to 8. If it gets to 8, we can't kill it. Hushbringer is better against them. It's not. They literally only have Midnight Reaper as dice triggers, Kelvin. What's their other dice triggers? Shutting off Midnight Reaper isn't a card that my aggro deck should really be worried about. Dreadhorde. I think I'd rather have more longevity against, like, my deck has things that play to the board and can block stuff like that, and we have plenty of protection. And not all of those lists play Dreadhorde. The red-black list does, the Collected Company variations frequently don't. It's better to target here to build this up. Okay, so a little trick you'll see I did here is I put a stop on my end of turn, because Feather's going to bring these things back to my hand, and then while we're still on my end of turn, I get to Reckless Rage this 5/5 again. And then this will come back at my opponent's end of turn. Oh, he could have targeted the 10th district again. Yeah, that's true. Oh, I messed up. I needed the second main phase of this, right? That's fine. All right, and this is the part where like our deck is basically a prison deck at this point. Like my opponent's creature deck has lost the game. We have the reckless rage pew pew down, and they can no longer win. They'll put a stop on their main phase now. Thankfully, this deck closes quickly too, so like we're not going to spend a lot of time in garbage time here. All right, so speaking of Tocatli Honor Guard, I think this is an all Doomblades on deck matchup. Banishing Light and Baffling End, especially being able to exile their things, sound great. I feel like this is probably not a Goldspan Dragon matchup. I probably don't need this extra closing power up top. I think especially on the draw, I probably want to trim at least a couple of these showdowns. I think I want to focus on not letting them get out of control to start. Fight as one. They don't have a ton of damage-based removal. This is okay for blocking. Bonecrusher seems not great. Most of their idiots have more than 2 toughness. I don't actually think that's true, Ians. Killing their Soul Sisters is pretty important. And again, I think this is just I want to kill everything possible. Yeah, that's another thing too, talking about Honor Guard versus Hushbringer, you can use this with Reckless Rage is relevant on that extra point of toughness. I think I'd actually rather cut Arcanist before I cut Bonecrusher Giant, because Arcanist will have a little bit of a hard time attacking in a lot of situations. I'm going to trim around the edges here and shave 1 and 1 on these. Is Skyclave better than Banishing Light because we want to keep a density of creatures? So, Skyclave doesn't hit as wide of a range of things, but it might still be better, yeah. Skyclave is just a very good card. A card I could see being worthwhile here. This hand is great. Oh, that's a good catch. Skyclave is shut off by your own Tocatlis. They often come in the same matchups. Yeah. For example, we just did that here, right? Like if we had Skyclaves, our Tocatlis would shut them off. Bye-bye. Hey, look, chat. It's a creature that dies to stop. Hey, look, chat. It's another creature that dies to stop. And another one. And another one. There might be something to this Bonecrusher card, chat. Whew! Spike to the land. Okie doke. Like I said, it could be that we want like we want a third or an even fourth copy of this card just to go up on land cards. This is like a very playable spell. Yeah, like, and like Land War Elves is legal in this format. Like, wub, wub, wub. Wub, wub, wub. Welcome to the glowing red circle of no. Bad. Stop it. Come on, triple block me. Do it. You won't do it. You won't do it. They don't gain life anyways. You might as well block with them. Wub, wub, wub. And no, this is a soldier, Lambton. It's not a warrior. Don't cause abilities to trigger. This stops authority of the councils too, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, so still tapped, but no life gain. You love to see it. It could be right to play one of these proactively here. It would be +3 damage. Got me. They're doubly tapped, chat. The old double tap. Climbing on up the ladder. Do 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 do. Thanks everybody for hanging out this afternoon, by the way. Great to see almost 1,200 people in here for some historic. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. I do a lot of card games and turn-based strategy games. Magic is the primary game I'm playing these days. It's called I'm Set with Sweet, and I've been enjoying both standard and historic. In addition to lots of different decks during the week here, we're also going to be returning to doing some Hoaglandia tournaments once a month or so. Our next tournament's going to be this historic format. If you're interested in playing in that, you can check it out on MTG Melee. That tournament, unlike a lot of the tournaments, will have full coverage streaming here on Twitch on my channel. One of the ways in which we achieve that, though, is you are required, if you play in that tournament, to be able to broadcast your matches on Discord upon request. So you want to make sure your computer, hardware, and internet are capable of doing that. I got you, Wargame. If Feather survives and we get the Reckless Rage Pew Pew Cannon online, we are going to be in a good spot. Hey, Donut Runner, thanks for the follow. Welcome. So yeah, if they don't have a exile target Feather card here, we're about to mess them up. Gosh, chat, they played a 4th land and it was a green source and they just didn't have any plays here. Can you believe how incredibly unlucky our opponent is? It's really unfortunate for them. Oh, Collected Company, I've been surprised. Oh, no. You got me. Gunther, thanks for the 17 months. Welcome back. It takes 6 to activate, right? Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Maddie? Oh, next open. I should add 21st, Maddie. I mean, like, that was a good collected company. It's still not going to be good enough, right? You might play... Oh, you should totally play, Maddie. So I'm doing this during their main phase, so that way this comes back to my hand at their end of turn. I missed getting it on my upkeep because of the stop timing there, unfortunately. I should likes to attack, please. Opponent realizing they are in fact dead. We're gonna board very similarly to the last deck we played against here, honestly. So, I know I left Bonecrusher Giant in against the last one, and it was like, okay in that game we just played, but the Angels deck tends to be a bit bigger. There aren't things like Ajani Pride Mapes. They have a lot of 1/3s and 1/4s, so I do think Bonecrusher Giant comes out here. What do we think about some... We should get information on the anthology today, Maddie. Hopefully they're going to give us a card list. Dear Wizards, Delver of Secrets, and then Matthew will be forced to play. What if we split the showdowns with Chandra? Just like play her as a Doomblade, another Doomblade effect. I think I'm into that. Some cages against the collected companies. Do I want to play cage against their Cocos? Is that good enough? It's probably good enough. I would love Delver in this format. I would love Delver. It'd be such a good addition. It wouldn't be overbearing without Brainstorm or Ponder. Just be a sweet, sweet card. They're not going to put Splinter Twin in here. Sorry, stop it. Get some help. Delver. Delver's a realistic ask. Yeah, it does turn off our Dreadhorde. I think I'd rather have my Dreadhorde. I think I'd rather just have Skalds. I think we can grind through collected companies with our card advantage. How to get a timeout? Blood Moon? Yes, requesting Blood Moon is a fantastic timeout request. Yes, Gravecrawler would be a great one. I would love to see Gravecrawler. Zombies is so close to being fringe playable, and I think there's a good chance Gravecrawler would put it over the top. More tribal support. They've actually been really good about that. Jumpstart and other anthologies have done a ton of really good tribal support, and I've loved that so far. I think I want to keep the backup feather here. Keeping the backup feather means I can jam this on turn 3 with impunity instead of waiting till turn 4 to hold up protection. Bloodghast? I don't know how I feel about Bloodghast. I don't know that I'd be particularly excited about that one way or another. Gravecrawler specifically would open up zombie tribal, though. Bro to Pro, thanks for the follow. Man, okay, I wasn't sold on this card when we first started, but now I kind of want more of them. These first 2 matchups against the life gain decks is just like, well, you sees. Well, so again, whenever it comes up talking about historic anthology cards, cards like Tireless Tracker are guaranteed to come to Historic eventually because those are cards that are in Pioneer, and eventually all of Pioneer will be on Magic Arena. So, like, when I think about what I want out of Historic Anthology, I specifically think about things like Delver of Secrets, Vidillion Click would be one I would love to see, stuff like that. Alright, looking for Reckless Rage. Alright, I'm putting a 3rd Tocatli Honor Guard in the sideboard, you can't stop me. I'm putting a 3rd Tocatli Honor Guard in the sideboard, you can't talk me out of it. The glowing red nose sustains me, chat. It gives me life. You know, honestly... Could we be that guy? And could we main deck this card? Can we like just start 2 in the main? I was like, can I give up the dragon? Can I give up the dragon? Yeah, it works with Reckless Rage too. Just be careful around Crocs. It'll be okay. Yeah, it turns off Muxus too, like. Do I want dragons in the 75? I can't decide if dragon's a sideboard card. Feels like it's not. Do I need authority of the councils? If I'm on 4 Tocatli in the 75, do I need this card? I feel like I don't. All right, I'm gonna do that. No, dragon just seems a little slow in this format. And like, in this deck specifically. Bro to Pro, thanks for the brand new Prime support. You know, there's a ton of different people on Twitch. You can ship those Bezo bucks to every month. Thanks for sending them this way this month. Howdy, howdy. Gabby, did I catch your follow, by the way? If I missed it, I'm sorry. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, it seems like an adorable hate. I can't say bear, it's a 1-3. What's a vanilla 1-3 I can compare the stat line to, chat? Quick, help me out. Think we just step on this elf here? Deputy? No, I need like a generic animal style creature. Are there any 1-3s? What's a vanilla 1-3? It's a moose. The moose is loose. Alright, I think we just play a giant of our own here. Just like blocks the Spellbreaker, it trades with the Questing Beast if they have it. A 1-3 feels like a goat of some kind. Go! Uh-oh, they're in the tank, chat. That means they have choices. Okay, I mean, all things considered, this is pretty good for us, huh? Alright. Definitely could have gone worse for the home team, he says before getting Ember Cleaved. Yes, I am familiar with how God's Willing works against Embercleave, which is nice. Oh, no. Oh, no, chat. Chat, it takes our protection away. All right, so we got 2 shots to draw a Reckless Rage here, chat. 2 shots at one shot at a Reckless Rage. We died. All right, good chat. Good chat. Man, Embercleave and Questing Beast in their collected company deck. Dear opponent, I hope all of your collected companies missed until the end of time. Signed, people that understand statistics. Alright, God's Willing's pretty bad here. Gus Questerson, Abrade might be good. Yeah, that many Chandra. Actually, this many Showdown is probably loose. Just bringing more removal, I think. To be fair, this would be a matchup where Authority of the Councils would be reasonable. And we swapped that around. The True Savage is a fitting username for their deck. You're not wrong. We could have scryed first looking for a third one. No, because if I give it protection from red, I could have given it protection from green. Okay, yeah, that's true. I had one more look if I scryed first, you're correct. You're right. Bonecrusher Giant, Abrade. Pretty sure I have to just play Naked Feather out on 3. The good news is if the Naked Feather on 3 lives, we probably win the game on the spot. Which is often how this deck plays out against aggro. Just like, you have to jam and then hope it works out. I don't think I cycle the Defiant Strike here. I think I hold it for after I get Feather down, right? Like I could always cycle it later. I don't think using the mana this turn is super important. No blocks. Reckless rage. Some things die while others feel the pain. Reckless rage. Do 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 pew pew pew. Do 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 pew pew pew. Goodbye, friend. Crunch. Cue the carnival music, chat. Even if they find a removal spell for this at this point, their board's clear and we've got a Showdown to gas back up with. Did you bring in negates versus cycling in Yorion? Yeah, if you don't have Graveyard Hate, if you're playing a bunch of Elspeth's Conquer Death, probably not. Or sorry, Elspeth's Nightmare, probably not. But if you don't have a way to interact with their graveyards, you need counter spells against cycling for sure. They should definitely have hasted the Spellbreaker. To be fair, Feather's not a super popular deck, so they're probably not used to these play patterns, but it is in fact incorrect for them to not do the thing there. Okay, we are explicitly not going to Reckless Rage here. Our health total is high, and I don't want to lose my Feather to a Stomp. We're doing this during their second main phase, so that way it comes back at their end of turn. Get that free cantrip in. Think there's a good chance this gets stomped in response? Interesting. Yeah, I think I'm in for a scry. Digging for another threat here, huh? In case they peel away to kill Feather. Ah, we were one card short. This archetype is definitely a good feel smart archetype. Lots of choices every single turn. It's a very, very satisfying style deck to play, in my opinion. You just like Baffling End? I like Baffling End. I think having a way to kill fat things is appealing. I think we do this with the hope to be able to go 10th District Rage twice next turn. I could be wrong. It could also be right to just like Baffling End and hope to queue up into Feather. I think I'm supposed to double Rage here. It feels a little bad to use Rage before we Feather, but pretty sure this is correct. You get to scry once at least. Oh, Banishing Light. Yeah, I can see Banishing Light being too expensive. I don't know. Having one copy of a flexible answer seems fine. The flexibility on it's nice. Yeah, you got me. It's dead, Jim. You've killed him. They missed a land drop. Do I Abrade this? I think I do. I think I do because they missed a land. This is the part where they go like land collecting company or land questing beast and make me sad, but ooh, that's a pretty big feel sad. Yikes. That's super punishing. Although I suppose if I would have left them the elf, I wouldn't have been able to Abrade this anyways, right? Because it would have been, it would have been a 4/4. Hey, CM Checks. Thank you for continuing your sub-gift. I appreciate the support. Good to have you around. So we've got 3 things in there, so this is about to be a 6/6. Reckless Rage, please. Okay, I mean... we have a game, as they say. Definitely down to top decks here. Oh, thank you for the follow. Good afternoon. Scoos is very good in these creature matchups. For sure. Baffling End, Oblivion Ring, Reckless Rage, all great draws for us. The patented aggro tank play lethal card play. I could have blocked here. I can't block this. This can't block because of the exert. It's a shame we can't ramp it to see what the top of our deck was going to be there. So a little bit of bad beats there to lose that 3rd game. Top of the opponent's deck was super hot there at the end. Can't really do much about that. I think I'm happy with all the lines we took. This might be a mulligan. Four showdowns in the main might also be too many. Seeing 2 in an opener like this feels real bad. It could just be that I'm supposed to mulligan a hand that sees 2 in the opener, but... Historic Anthology 4 articles up. Who doesn't give a shit about his rank? This guy. Let's talk about Historic Anthology 4. Oh, we're not done playing Feather, but... I would just, like, I've been waiting literally months for this, chat. All right, get ready for Historic Anthology 4. We've got a card list, too. All right, price, bundle available for March 11th. Yes! It's coming out next week, chat. It's coming out next week. Sweet. So the Hoglandia tournament will have these cards legal for it. Triumphant Reckoning, 9 mana. Return all artifact, enchantment, and planeswalker cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Sure, bad Timmy card. Deccan Stone is fantastic. This card is very, very good, and this is a premium piece of removal. People have talked about... Okay, just hold on. Before I talk about this card, God damn it, Wizards, can you please put high-resolution images in here and not whatever low-res piece of garbage you took out of the Arena client was? Just could we take 30 seconds to just point out the fact that, like, this text is pixelated here? Like, why are there not, like, I get it, you want to show me that they're in Arena, but, like, give me a high-res image of the card where the text isn't blurry. Okay, anyways, I actually think, I talked about this last year, but I actually think Deccan Stone is the perfect power level white exile removal. People have asked for Path to Exile, and I think that Path to Exile would be too obnoxious, and I think that this is an appropriate upside different. Getting to exile multiple things with the same name is powerful, but giving your opponents clues instead of lands is also a very real downside. So I love this inclusion. Thraben Inspector, just like good, cheap, white aggro card, sure. Think Twice is cute, sure. I do love that we're getting some sweet Innistrad staples, so like Think Twice is a good control card. Spider Spawning, create a 1/2 spider with reach for each creature in your graveyard. Cute. So I don't know that any, I Think Twice will probably be playable. I don't know that these 2 cards will be historic playable. Oh, we're getting Merit Liege, For those of you that can't read this blurry image at home, when Merit Liege's Slumber or another snow permanent enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more snow permanents, create a 20/20 flying indestructible creature. Merit Liege's Slumber, this is a phenomenal addition to the format with the snow cards that we got on a Kaldheim. This is awesome. 10 or more snow permanents. Yeah, this is sick. Love this one. Sword of Body and Mind. Sure, someone asked earlier today what I thought about swords coming into this format, and I think swords in general are probably fine, and this card is a fine power level. It's one of the weaker swords, but I would bet that it's still close to playable. Goblin Gavalier, Bone Splitter, these seem like limited cards. Ooh, we're getting Flameblade Adept. So, Cycling is a deck that I love in Standard, and Flameblade Adept here is probably a reasonable additional 1-mana threat for that deck in Historic. It's no Fox, but you'd only have Fox as your only 1-mana threat. So getting this as an additional Fox sounds fantastic. As an additional 1-mana threat next to Fox. It's like, it's a backup Fox. If we could play 8 Foxes, we would, but we can't, and this card does a fine Fox-adjacent impersonation. Elf, sure. Vigilance, Menace, Abominations, Power, and Toughness are equal number of elves you control, plus the number of elves in your graveyard. Not that either of these are particularly playable. This is cute that it's good after they sweep your elf board, but like Anger of the Gods is a sweeper people play in this format, so meh. This one at least gets hit by Collected Company. This probably isn't good enough because it costs 4, but I could see this being worth testing if you're into elves. Blink Moth Nexus is huge. We've played some Tempered Steel. Like, we played Red-White Tempered Steel, and Red-White Tempered Steel felt competitive last time we played it. Blink Moth is a huge upgrade for that archetype. I know that this doesn't look impressive, but this is a very good creature land. And honestly, without Mutavault in this format, there's a good chance that this is going to go in a lot of fair decks. It's just a decent blocker. So notable here that this can pay 1 to give a Blink Moth creature +1/+1. This means on offense, you can pump your other Blink Moths, and on defense in a controlling or a mid-range deck, this can block as a 2/2. So I really love this addition here with Tempered Steel. Cold Steel Heart. Add mana of any color. This Cold Steel Heart here is notably a third 2-mana artifact rock being added to the format. So you could play up to 12 copies of 2-mana artifact rock, so kind of generic ramp seems reasonable. We have some more cards here that didn't make it into Amonkhet and Kaladesh Remastered, it looks like. Ooh, we're getting Harmless Offering. We're getting Harmless Offering. That's sweet. So we talked about Demonic Pact the other day. Harmless Offering is a delight with that. What is this card? I can barely read it because it's so pixelated. Trample 6/6, mutate for 4. When this creature... Wait, what? What is this card from? Is this a real Magic card, or is this... What is this from? It's a commander card. Oh, sick. I like this card. Sweet. Mutate for 4. Destroy target non-creature permanent. Its controller makes a 3/3 beast. That's sick. Collected Conjuring. Exile the top 6 cards of your library. You may cast 2 sorceries with mana value 3 or less from among them without paying their cast. Yeah, this card's not very good, but it's cute. You'll probably do something memey with this. This Sawtooth Demolisher, sweet. Oh shit. Oh shit. The red-black Luris deck was like, already really good. And like, there's no way this card's not absurd in it, right? Like I saw people I saw people playing the new 2-mana, like, Death Shadow adjacent card already, but, like, this is a sweet addition. I do kind of hope they smack Claim the Firstborn with a bat at some point, because this card in the Claim the Firstborn deck is, like, that's, like, gonna be real good. But, like, in general, I love this as an addition to the format. Yes, I like this being added, like, Deccan Stone is notably being added as an efficient way to potentially remove that. Yeah, you get Bolt Lands, you get to play Eggdom's Awakening with this card. Yeah, Shadow is more interesting in a format without fetches and shocks for sure. Yeah, love it. Yeah, I would have liked to see Tireless Tracker happen. Tireless Tracker is definitely a card. We're gonna get that one eventually. We're getting a couple other good ones that come with clues. Clues are being introduced to the format. We're going to be investigating and stuff. But yeah, so I mean, overall, this honestly feels like it might be the best historic anthology we've had so far to date, huh? Out of the 4 of them, is this the best? Like, the other ones have had like a couple of bangers here and there, but like I feel like they hit like a fantastic range, right? Like we got a couple of new good threats. We got a new good creature land. We got sweet cards like Sawtooth Demolisher and Harmless Offering and Merit Liege's Slumber. Like, yeah, and I mean, honestly, Deccan Stone and Think Twice too. Listen, chat, Think Twice is a sweet control card. Like, yeah, this is great. I'm super pumped. I'm really glad that it's going to work out that the Open is going to be after this. So if you're interested in playing in a tournament with sweet coverage or just watching that tournament, March 21st, we're going to be having our Hoaglandia Open Series returning. It's going to be historic. So yeah, you'll be able to play with all these cards. These cards will be up on Arena on the 11th. So we're going to be playing a ton with them on stream, trying out different ideas. If you've got different deck ideas with these cards and you're in the subs Discord, post me your deck list ideas in there and I'll start collecting up the ones I want to that look the most interesting. And starting on the 11th when these cards releases, we'll be playing with a ton of them. I'm going to be looking for lots of different deck ideas with these different things. A lot of sweet things to try here. Yeah. I mean, like, scummy, yes, no. Like, these cards could have been in the remaster sets, though. Speaking as someone who's bought a lot of those remaster sets were already huge. I'm sure there were probably some technical difficulties with some of these cards, why they didn't make it in there initially, potentially, but I'm glad we're getting them now. I'm glad they're here. Did you read Hamza? Is that the big boy? What's Hamza? Oh, I didn't read Hamza. This costs 1 less to cast for each creature you control with the 1/1 counter on it. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. This is kind of a sweet payoff. I've seen some Abzan 1/1 counters decks in the format. It's a 5/5 elephant, 5/5 for 2 potentially in the right board state. Sure. Yeah, but this seems sweet overall. I'm glad I would have liked it a little bit sooner. But it feels like it was worth the wait. I'm glad it's happening on the 11th. You'll be able to buy all of these cards for 4,000 gems or 25,000 gold. Yeah, no Delver. Was hoping for Delver. Pleasantly surprised by Death Shadow. Would still like to see Delver at some point, but was pleasantly surprised by Shadow. Yeah, you're guaranteed to get playsets of all these cards for 20 bucks. So, you know, in general, from a monetization standpoint, I love historic anthologies because you're paying money to know exactly what you're going to get. So, both from a inclusion of the cards that we have in here looks great and exciting, and from a monetization standpoint, I like how the historic anthologies are monetized. All right, let's go back. Speaking of historic, we conceded this match because I want to talk about that. Let's jump back in here and play some more Red Feather. Or the mythics into this turn. I'm going to be honest, I didn't pay attention to the rarities on cards. One of them was a sword. Opponent showing Yorion. Probably bottom Bonecrusher Giant against Yorion. Can a mod update the HA4 command to say I will have a separate reaction video posted on YouTube tonight? So if you're coming in late, I just did a full review of the historic anthology cards. It'll be up on my YouTube channel in its own clipped video that's probably about 8 to 10 minutes long this evening. So I'm gonna say wait for that rather than repeating myself constantly. If you're watching right now and don't want to wait for me to clip it, you can go back and watch this current stream previously while we're still broadcasting if you open my Twitch videos, but I will clip it and upload it later tonight. Okay, so I think especially with Showdown of the Skalds drawn here, I think I just beep and attack them for a bunch here. I could hold up God's Willing, but I kind of just like hitting them for a metric ton of damage and drawing 2 cards. No, my previous Twitch videos are available to everybody. That's perfect, Twin. Thank you. Geist and Huntmaster. Yep, those would be cards I'd love to see. All right, do I want to hold up Protection next turn? Or do I want to just jam the Showdown? I think we just jam the Showdown, right? Also, for people that want the best chance to be on coverage in the Hoaglandia tournament, my match picker is going to have instructions to prioritize putting people on coverage the first few rounds that have Historic Anthology 4 cards in their deck. So if you're intending to play on the 21st and you want the best chance to be featured, make sure you show up with some new sweet stuff. Cycle this because it's gonna go away. This is a sweet nonsense bias channel. Big mood. Man, this Tocatli Honor Guard's about to be a monster with these Showdown of the Skalds triggers next turn. You got another binding here, maybe? Take me off of Showdown trigger. Acolyte of Affliction, yep. So this spell's going away. So we want to cast it right now to get these counters on this. I'm going to go ahead and shock in this land, I think, and pass. Oh, you know what? I'm supposed to stomp their face there to get counters on this. Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. That was a mistake. That could cost us. Yeah, it was a pretty big oops. Definitely should have stepped on their face there. Is Dark Depths historic legal? No. Well, we were hoping for something we didn't get. Just hoping for a Reckless Rage to kill this. Not sure if we can erase at this point. We're dead to the Clifftop trigger, right? I forgot about the 2 for this. I was like, we're going to 1. We're actually dead. I forgot about this trigger. Well, Honor Guard sounds great. Chandra sounds good. Bonecrusher's probably bad. Doesn't really look like they have things to kill. Is this a Reidane matchup? I don't know. They have a lot of creatures, right? Like, I get that it stops binding, but, like, that's what it stops, right? Is, like, binding is the list. I don't know if this is actually good. Yeah, unlike the last historic anthology where they gave us a bunch of terrible shrines, I would like to really give props on this one. They kind of knocked it out of the park with the range of cards that they put in it. It feels like they picked 25 cards and they were able to appeal to almost every range of Magic player in 25 cards. It's really, really impressive, honestly. It's good work to the people that were involved in making choices there. Whoever was in charge of picking out cards for this historic anthology, please put them in charge again. Wizards of the Coast. They did good work. Done good, Big. Feels Magic the Gathering, man. Nah, I disagree, Wargy. I think most of the Amonkhet cards that they included in there are just good cards that I'm interested in having in the format. Like what's it called? The, Yeah, Snow Control sounds great. We got Think Twice, too. Good lord. Remember when I said we might want 25 or 26 lands, chat? Might want 25 or 26 lands. We think we've died.
This is fine. They're not pressuring our life total at all. I'll take the Shatterskull. Take the Shatterskull all day, chat. And like I don't really care what set the cards are from, good old trusty. I just like want there to be good cards to play with, like, you know. Should have been. I think your assessment there is wrong, Wargy. I think the idea that like they should have been in this other set is just nonsense. Like there's lots of reasons why they could have been left out. Thanks to the 42 months, pimped up monk. Land. Come on. I don't play Modern, actually asking if Death Shadow is good. Yeah, Death Shadow's like tier 1 in Modern. Death Shadow has been like tier 1 to tier 1.5 for like a long time in Modern. It's very good there. Nice. And past it just being good for a long time in Modern, like there's already a deck that's like really close to being playable. Like the red-black Luris deck, I think could arguably have already been tier 1 in Historic, and like it wants Death Shadow. I mean, the bolt lands are a big deal. The lack of fetch lands means Death Shadow and Historic will just be a 2-color deck. Well, Death Shadow won't go in the sack deck, Wargy. So Death Shadow will go in a Dreadhorde Arcanist shell. So it won't be alongside like Mayhem Devil and Friends. Yeah, there's been a number of Scourge of the Skyclaves lists already in the format. Okay, so this is unfortunately going to kill my Dreadhorde Arcanist. Hey, KFM, thank you for the Prime support. And there's a ton of people you can send that to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it this way this month and keeping me around. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree, Dr. Mister. Love the selection of commander stuff. I think we're dead here. Might have had a shot if we'd have hit our third land a little bit sooner. Oh, you know what? I should have attacked them for 2 because if they would have blocked, I could have -3'd. So I missed 2 points of damage this turn.
You will regret this. I'm super excited for Sultai Snow Control and Rakdos Shadow and Historic. Awesome! Well, if you're interested in playing some tournament Magic in a casual-ish setting, I would love to feature those decks on stream at some point. Yeah, we're super dead. A little bit bad beats there. Snow Control build around with HA4. In, Beansy, in. Hey, that's awesome, Spartan. Glad to have you. I'm gonna add that to the stream queue now. Snow Control. Man, Graven lore with that card? Chat, Graven lore is great. It's everything and so much more. Deck and Stone just replace Baffling End, right? Yeah, as far as this deck is concerned, you almost assuredly want Deck and Stone over Baffling End. Deck and Stone is a solid upgrade. Card's very good.
Deccan Stone see play when it was in Standard. Yeah, it saw a ton of play. It sees Fringe play in Pioneer too as a removal spell. It's a very... Deccan Stone, I think, is the most balanced white exile spell. It's very good. Haha! The Golden Whale, Beansy. Beansy, let me know in the Discord if you would like the royalty tag or the Shillionaire tag to take priority. Because you can only have one of the two colors on your username. So the Golden Whale comes with the crown in chat, and it gets the royalty tag in the Discord server. So let me know. Shillionaire is probably the more exclusive club. We've actually achieved more Shillionaires than royalty at this point. I think we have 19 Shillionaires, if I recall correctly, and I think crowns we have about 10. Yeah, see, obviously trickle-down Shillonomics is hard at work, making everybody at home all the richer. Investigate. Investigate means create a clue. And if you're not sure what a clue does, well, then we could just say you're clueless. I think we just gotta YOLO this showdown, right? And this is the tough part. So, like, I think there's probably a good chance our deck is still bad against control even with Showdown. We'll see, though. If there's any card that could pull us through here, it's this. I elected to play my land out before playing this because Censor and Jamari Disruption are both cards in this format. I do echo that I do wish Tireless Tracker would have snuck into this card release. Although maybe I should be happy Tireless Tracker didn't make it in, because Tireless Tracker would have definitely tricked me into playing some terrible decks. For the sake of my rank and my sanity, the lack of Tireless Tracker means I won't be tricked into playing bad green mid-range decks. No, I love Tireless Tracker. I would play the crap out of Tireless Tracker. It not being included though means I'm less likely to have that happen. Do you smell what the rock is cooking? It's mopey mid-rage. Ain't that the truth?
Think fast.
I assume it was unplayable in 1v1 Magic. Nah, that card was great when it was in Standard, and it sees some play in Pioneer, Mr. Putty. Yeah, I agree, Walk. I said earlier, I'll have a full review up on YouTube tonight, but this is probably the best anthology they've ever made, and I really hope whoever was in charge of picking out these cards, or the group of people that was in charge of picking them, that they're in charge of all future anthologies. Like, they're just like, they hit on every front of the selection I would like them to hit on.
They gave us Spike cards, they gave us Timmy cards, just like all of it is perfect.
Those who cannot keep an open mind.
I play Tracker and Legacy Lands. Oh yeah, it does totally see Legacy play, doesn't it? How do we feel about trying to Shatterskull Smashing Narset? I feel like I'm into that. I think Narset's down to smash, chat. Alright, I'm gonna ask Narset if she's down to smash. Oh, yeah. Love it. Alright. We can smack them for 4 here. The new Mutate card is adorable. I love it.
We'll make this look easy. Think fast.
Oh! I can't target it for 0, but I could have paid 1 and gotten a scry. That's a good catch. Well, back to Magic. It's been a while. Thanks for the 5 months, Forrest. Good to have you back. Yeah, well, this would have gotten 1 bigger. Ah, it's fine. We would have kept it on top anyways.
What's that supposed to hurt?
No, that's definitely a different voice actor than Teferi, but it sounds very similar. Feather's like a fine rip. I would have preferred a Showdown though. I'm greedy. Showdown's just like the best draw on our deck, right? Not close. Where are my draw 4s? Inject them directly into my veins. All of the draw 4s are belong to me. Joke's on you, opponent. I couldn't cast the spell anyways. Oh yeah, I was already thinking about working on Demonic Pact decks, just like a Yorion Pact deck with Harmless Offering. We are definitely playing some Demonic Pact on stream next week. 100% in for some Demonic Pact.
I know who I am.
Alright, so they're gonna kill Planeswalker here.
Minions.
Still hoping for a Showdown of the Skalds.
Oh, you can scream if it hurts too much.
So I attacked Jace before I did this, because if they had a removal spell, they would save their Jace. And I didn't want to get my Defiant Strike countered by a removed spell. Supreme Will is legal in this format, so I'm going to play my land here to play around counter unless I pay 3. Don't play your post-mana leak land drops of shame, chat.
Sorry for your loss.
Kill you. Kill you. Kill you.
Kill you. Alley-oop. Like a Soul Shatter here, or like a minus. But statistically dead. Kill you. Alright, and again, I mentioned when we started this set, I wasn't sure if Showdown of the Skalds was going to be enough to drag us across the finish line here, but it was, right? Like, this game is obviously one anecdotal point, but it makes me optimistic that this card is what we're looking for in this deck to make this otherwise bad matchup reasonable for ourselves. Like, that felt really good. Pretty clean ins and outs here. Wow, the sideboard. We didn't really tune this sideboard a whole lot, but it worked out really nicely there, huh? Chandra, Dragon, Reidane in, Reckless Rage, and Tocatli Honor Guard out. Hey, Jim Boy, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Is greedy to try and cram a second target? Nah, I don't think so, Wargy. I just wanted Tocatli Honor Guards in the main. It could be that 4 Tocatli Honor Guards is overkill. But I think the Dragon's probably good. It's especially good in these mid-range and control matchups. Well, I guess, like, we have Chandra and Skalds. 8 pieces of Go Big is probably fine. Death Shadow plus Embercleave. You probably won't see much Death Shadow with Embercleave. You would likely rather be playing Luris alongside Death Shadow. You can't cleave with Luris. Teamer Battle Rage Red. When we get, that's, Khaled, Kanzatark here, right? It's ferocious. Arg. Joke's on you, opponent. I drew 2 of my best card. Hey, Greaseball, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. Good afternoon. So, our opening hand here wasn't very good. That being said, you don't really get your hand better by mulliganing in these Thoughtseize matchups, so I think we just kept our hand because it had lands and spells. Eventually, we'll draw some threats. The game is going to go long in most of the time in this set. Yeah, the fact that the camera is looking at the side of my face normally really lets me instill feelings when I stare deeply into your soul. When we turn and face the camera and have something to say. Joke's on you, I don't have soul left to stare into. Hey, Justin Drake, thanks for the Prime. And there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch that you can send that to every month. Thanks for sending it this way. I wouldn't be here without folks like you. I'm gonna wait to play this around a counter unless I pay 1 card. I think walking this into Censor sounds incredibly bad. It does leave it exposed to Thoughtseize for an extra turn, but like they've already played one Thoughtseize, so I think that's fine. You know. Getting hit there with it doesn't mean I'm upset with my play. It just means, you know, sometimes you make all the right decisions and lose anyways. You gonna be a bully and exclude my 10th District Legionnaire from the party opponent? Oh, no bully opponent. Don't do it. Wow, rude. Yeah, with their castles here, I imagine we're probably gonna start drawing dead. Their average card quality from here is going to be incredibly high if they get to scry 2 every turn. Feel like I kind of want to wait and see what their actual win condition is here. Exclude is very good. I've seen a few different control decks playing that. Does a it does a cryptic command adjacent impersonation. Let's talk lunch. Lunch does sound good. Get kind of hungry. Bold of you to assume the opponent has a win condition. You're not wrong. Okay. Okay. Well. They can't Thoughtseize these either. I'm gonna play both these out here. Because if they want to spend removal or counter spells on these instead of Feather, that's good for me. If they have removal spell for Dreadhorde plus an exclude for my Feather, I'm gonna be sad. Wow, they took my boy out back and drowned him in the lock. How about if we Bonecrusher first and then Defiant Strike here, get that Skalds trigger? Yeah, the audio is bugged on Magic Arena. Enjoy. Nothing. Oh, wait, they get to bring something back out of our graveyard, too, right? This isn't Elspeth Conquers Death? They have Feather... They technically have Dreadhorde Arcanist, huh?
I was actually pleasantly surprised, Dr. Mr. Punny, by the Magic Arena on mobile experience. I don't think Magic is a game that translates to mobile well. Like all of the various board states we've laughed about over the years of LOL, imagine this on mobile. Those board states do suck on mobile, but like, given the constraints of what they were trying to do, it feels like they've implemented a good execution of it. If that makes sense. It probably wouldn't be terrible on something that has a 10+ inch screen on it. I have a OnePlus 8 as my cell phone, and I've played, I don't know, half a dozen matches on it. Drisky Brew, thanks for the 19 months. This deck is sweet. I agree. You about to Thoughtseize me? Deal. My sick land. Maybe I'm not supposed to block there, because now they get to Fatal Push my Bonecrusher Giant. That could be a bad block. I'm probably just supposed to take 1 and then attack them for 4. Yeah, I think my block there was bad. That was the 8. I love the 1+ devices. My house has a 1+5, 1+6, a 1+7, and a 1+8. My wife and I usually take turns alternating years upgrading our cell phones. So like we skip back and forth with each other who gets which 1+ devices, basically. So she has the 7, I have the 8. She'll probably get the 9 or the 10 or whatever. It's whatever. I think they stopped numbering them sequentially. So I don't actually know what the next one is after the 8, but she'll probably get that this year at some point. Shocking there is aggressive. Unless they're drawing into something that gains them life. Oh, they're drawing into this, which lets them memory for 7 cards. I guess, I think. Alright, so we need a showdown into a dragon, into a Bonecrusher Giant. We could theoretically kill them here with an absurd draw. This doesn't work because there's an Arset in play. I think we're dead at this point. This is going to lock it up. We're into garbage time here. We'll take game 3 on the play. That was pretty good. We were pretty in that game for how long it took us to find some action. And the fact that they Thoughtseize two of our Skalds. Yeah, I don't think we were in garbage time until the Narset hit there. And honestly, that's one of the things that one of the comments I get most frequently from Magic players on my videos is that they think I concede too soon. And
while sometimes I'm just tired of playing a matchup and I'll mention when that's the case, a lot of the times I think enough players don't concede soon enough. I think one of the things new players in Magic tend to struggle with a lot is understanding when they're, you know, 1 or 2 or even less than that percentage points to win the game, but the opponent just hasn't killed them yet. Magic's a sweet game, but it has an incredible amount of what we refer to as garbage time, where the game is effectively over, one player is like 99+% to win, but you're still taking game actions. They haven't actually technically killed you yet. And on clients like Arena, this is less of a thing, but in paper Magic, especially when the clock is a shared resource between both players, being able to recognize garbage time and conceding appropriately when you're in garbage time is the difference between getting unintentional draws and not. For people that aren't familiar with my Magic background, between the years of 2013 and 2016, I logged triple-digit matches of sanctioned Magic at competitive REL every one of those years. I think my peak year I played like 500 sanctioned matches of Magic or something stupid like that. And the number of unintentional draws I have in like thousands of matches of sanctioned Magic, I can count on one hand. And half of those matches where I got unintentional draws that I can count on one hand, my opponents were issued slow play warnings for me calling judges and asking them to watch for slow play. And fun fact, if your match goes to time and your opponent was issued a slow play warning, you'd get 7 extra turns of time instead of 5. It could be wrong to do this here, because they get to kill it in response now. Yeah, and I don't get to draw a card, so I get 2 for 1. Feels bad, man. The biggest compliment I ever received in Magic was actually from you, Jeff, during Hoots, when I conceded a game that I was super dead in, and you said I liked my concession. Yeah, like, you know. No, it's not that you get 7 straight turns, Marco. So for people that aren't familiar with the rules of competitive Magic the Gathering, when a match goes to time in competitive Magic the Gathering, there are 5 additional turns that rotate back and forth. So one player takes 3 of them, and one player takes 2 of them. That's how the system works. Yeah, I think this deck is short on lands. I think we're gonna add a 20. We're not 100% dead here. We've got these, but there's a good chance they have counterspells and stuff lined up. We definitely want probably another Shatterskull Smashing. This would be a good one.
My prowess is unmatched by my peers.
Evan Peck, thank you for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. This card feels real bad against Exclude. Your audio is not messed up on Twitch. Magic Arena sounds are completely foobarred at the moment, so don't touch your audio setting. That's on my end. We'll have to restart the client to fix it. Cut Hazard, add Mountain. No, that's bad. I don't want... That's... Cutting Hazard and adding a Mountain isn't adding lands to my deck. It's replacing a card that's a land with a different land. It's sweet that both Showdown and Chandra are sources of card advantage that don't care about in our set. Yeah, agree. Hazard is also just a good card in a lot of spots.
Yup, you're going down.
Teamer Battle Rage is not historically gold, no.
I am You've already lost.
Hey, Nicholson. Thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. Yeah, it was funny. We talked about the Nexuses the other day. I talked about how I thought Blinkmoth would be a good one. There is a giant list of commands you can find here. Do we just YOLO the Goldspan Dragon? I feel like I'm supposed to YOLO the Goldspan Dragon. That's gotta be wrong. I think we take a card with us every turn. Hey, look, it's just a land. In a previous life, Chandra... In a previous life, Chandra could deal that damage to Planeswalkers, and we would have killed this Jace. But unfortunately, she was power level errata by a rules change. For all you Magic Zoomers out there, you didn't used to target Planeswalkers with your damage spells. You used to target the opponent, and then were asked if you wanted to redirect to the Planeswalkers. In this newfangled Magic Arena, they updated the rules.
Let death embrace you.
All right, Chandra. I believe in you. Oh, you know what? It's actually funny. So small mistake here on my part. I should play this land before I plus my Chandra, because my Chandra could hit Shatterskull Smashing, which I would want to be able to pay 4 for. Small mistake here on my part. So I don't get to draw the card with this right away, but Feather brings it back to my hand. And now I'm going to be able to draw a card with this next turn, which is great. Wow, that is aggressive. If you've never played with this Planeswalker before, however good you think she is, trust me, she's better. Want to put a stop on my end step. Oh yeah, I should have done it on my end step instead of their second main phase. Yeah, you're correct, Stark. I should have done this when this came back because the Narset was gone already. So she's like Gonti. Yes, Gonti and Chandra Torch Defiance are cards that, like, you read them and you're like, this card's good, it's playable, and then like you actually play with it, and you're like, wow, this card is good.
I know who I am.
Because now they have a chance to kill my Arcanist in response here, and then my Defiant Strike goes away. Ooh, this is... So, it is objectively correct to use my Defiant Strike this turn. It was eventually correct to use it last turn, but now I'm going to have to discard this Showdown to Liliana, which feels bad.
You think too much.
Opponent's down to 7 minutes on the... And this is... Talking about rate of play, by the way, my opponent has 7.5 minutes on their clock. I have almost 20 minutes on my clock. So my opponent has spent 20 minutes more than me this game taking game actions.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Is that a good hit? If so, why? Please explain. So, this is a good trick, but I actually want to Defiant Strike here in response to my own Feather. Because if Feather resolves and I attack with Dreadhorde Arcanist will flash back the Defiant Strike, which will then bring it back to my hand. So assuming their hand is on blanks and all of this works, I get to draw an extra card by striking in response to my feather coming into play. Okay, and now I have to decide. I probably want to kill their Jace, right? I think we smashing. I have to give up the 10th District Legionnaire to the Liliana uptick, but I think killing the Jace is worthwhile here. How do they push him? They sacrificed a Mind Stone. They are playing Jawari Disruption. Okay, I had played around that card earlier.
I think I know what to do.
Okay. And I mean, like, and again, like, I know this game's been long, but we're not out of it, right? Like, Chandra is keeping us in this game. It's actually impressive. Did we resolve a showdown this game? I forget. Did this one resolve? I think this one resolved. Yeah, this game's been great. Like, Showdown and Chandra give us, like, seeing how this game is played out, I'm not convinced I want dragons in this deck. Like, Goldspan was much worse than our Planeswalker threats, and it's not been particularly close. Like, Chandra has picked this game up and carried it on her back, and a Goldspan would be much, much worse.
I'm always a step ahead. Think fast.
Yup, you're going down.
I think I'm just cycling this, because we get into Showdown or something here, or a haste creature to pressure one of their Planeswalkers. Don't disruption me, don't disruption me, don't disruption me, don't disruption me. Yes, yes! Oh, man! Oh, if this was untapped, we could have Spikefield Hazard someone. That's fine. If they wanna kill this with her, they have to lose her. We'll probably see them bounce with Jace uptick Liliana to kill this.
I am who I choose.
It's fine. I know, like, these aren't great cards to hit, but like we're not drawing through these now, right? And this does damage to the face, which this combined with 2 more Chandra upticks is lethal.
There are so many mysteries to uncover.
Omen of the Sea. Omen of the Sea. Do 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 do. Those are the only tap lands at this point. They are, yeah. These are the only tap lands. Yeah. The opponent also needs an answer to Chandra, or she's gonna ultimate. Bottoms up. I assume they're just digging for like another Murderous Rider here.
Get out of my way already.
Oh, today's my lucky day.
When your card advantage draws card advantage, chat. No! Read. All right, opponent just needs a couple more bricks before this, like, they're gonna, okay, a couple more is a lot more, actually. They get a scry, they get a look, they get a scry, so, like, I would bet our opponent is a favorite to kill us from this position, or to kill, sorry, not to kill us, to kill Chandra. They've double topped. All right, I assume this Chandra is going away. It is worth noting if they're on Murderous Rider, Narset doesn't find Murderous Rider, though. We're definitely not out of this game. Yeah, they have Eldest Reborn was a card we saw last game. Commit! They are going to commit Chandra to memory, yep. Aethergust, sure.
That's also true. Speaking of non-shared resources in Magic Arena, there's a very real chance our opponent times out. Oh, right. They just drew 7 cards. There's a very, very low chance of this resolving, chat. There's a very low chance of this resolving. Alright, there's a somewhat possible chance of one of these 2 cards resolving. This train's got no brakes on it, chat. Choo choo, the feather train is leaving the station. Yeah, I think these draws mean our opponent is timing out. Would be my bet. So, unfortunately, this has to get cast this turn, otherwise it's going away. So if they have a removal spell in response to, they're going to get to kill Feather. We got another Skalds for next turn, though. We do have another Skalds for next turn. I'm a little sad my opponent's gonna time out. This game's been crazy. You bring back deck of the day. So just look for the longer videos, Elusive. I've made a couple posts about this, but I'm not playing bad decks anymore. If things aren't worth watching, I'm not uploading them to YouTube. So basically just pick the decks out that watch the decks that look interesting to you is what I would tell you. Rather than bringing back deck of the day. You excluded my 10th District Legionnaire. Rude. Honestly, it might be wrong to play that, and it might be right to just hold up double God's Willing here. You're saying they're all decks of the day. Yeah, basically. Yeah, nice star set. Got me. Ah, got me for real. The eerie silence from the audio being bugged is really something. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this game could go either way. It's sad that they're about to time out, but you know, the clock's a resource, gotta use it and all that. So I don't think they're definitely not capable of winning in time. Their deck might have been capable of winning the game if we had infinite time, but they just don't have infinite time. And like all of my Skalds triggers are like not doing them any favors. Here's a dirty little secret, chat. The deck that you play needs to win the game at a rate that is inversely proportional to your rate of play, which means if your deck wins the game slowly, you need to play quickly. And if your deck, oh, that kills those, sure, yeah. Well, yeah, I think we might have lost this. I don't know. I have these. It was gonna be close. It was gonna be close. We won the match on time. I think there's a chance we were gonna lose that. It was an incredible game of Magic, regardless. All right, I'm gonna restart. We're not done with Feather. We're gonna play another match or two. I'm gonna restart the client here so we can have audio. Ethics, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Nah, don't play bad cards in your control deck, just play Fester. I wanted another land, right? I want another Shatterskull Smashing. At least one more land. Hey, Jojo, yeah, Magic's been great. Thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. I was whelmed by Goldspan Dragon. I'm gonna cut it. We'll leave one Tocatli Honor Guard Maid. Excuse me. You want to try some Gideon the side? Nah, I think Showdown and Chandra is fine. I think that's plenty. I don't know that we need Gideon on top of it. I think an extra land would have done wonders in that game. Like if we would have just like had more lands to play our spells on time. Like that third game was only as close as it was because if you recall, we stumbled a lot early. That Gideon's not legal. Yeah, if we could play 4-mana Chad, 4-mana Chad I'd be in for. I don't think 3-mana Chads are good enough though. Ally. Chad ally of Zendikar, I'd be down to play with. I want my Planeswalkers to generate card advantage. If you ping Feather with Shatterskull for 1, it comes back. It does, yeah. So if you Shatterskull one of your opponent's things and then do 1 damage to your Feather, you redraw Shatterskull Smashing at end of turn. Honestly, it's possible that the card should be a 4 of because of that. We haven't gotten to do that yet, but it's something that comes up. Could come up, I guess I should say. The 2/4/4 Indestructibles are good. I don't know. Those cards don't really do what I want them to do against control. I want my Planeswalkers to generate card advantage against control, and those ones don't do that. Seize my thoughts, Daddy. They belong to you. Really glad we added another lane. Honestly, like I said, I could see going as high as 26 lands and playing 4 Smashings. Like, wanting to curve out to 4 and playing 26 lands is reasonable. Yeah, there's just too many good answers, Wargy, that I don't... And that's why I'm not sure about Feather as a deck. Feather as a deck doesn't have the tools to run down control consistently before they get to the late game, in my opinion. If you're interested in playing an aggro deck and running down your opponent, you should not play Feather. The appeal to playing Feather is the power of Reckless Rage and Feather in the creature matchups. The appeal to playing Feather is that it's a bigger, aggressive deck that goes long nicely. That's the reason to play this archetype, in my opinion.
The sound design that Arena has is very good. It's a little bit sparse. I wish the board was a little bit more lively and the cards talked a bit like they have in Runeterra, but in general, what sound design that exists in Arena is fantastic. At least they're also stumbling. Although I would bet their deck plays fewer lands than we do. Especially with our recent addition to 25. Would love another land next turn so we can go Feather, tapped land to set up for Showdown the turn after. Ideally, you want to play Showdown on a turn where you're not playing a land, so that way if you flip 2 lands with it, you can make both land drops. Nah, I think Valakut's Awakening is much worse than both Spikefield and Shatterskull Smashing Greaseball. I'd rather have cards that play to the board. And neither Spikefield Cave nor Shatterskull are completely dead in the control matchups, since Shatterskull hits Planeswalkers. A lot of Fatal Pushes has been my experience in Historic Returning Dawn. Thoughtseize and Fatal Push are very common in this format. From my experience playing it since I've been back. People love playing Mopey control decks. Although this archetype that this opponent's playing is about to get a lot less Mopey with Death Shadow. Death Shadow going to be a big pickup for them. Alright, need a red source and a Reckless Rage here off this Showdown. Or I could just spike it naturally. That'll work too. Ask me what it's like sometime, chat. The answer, it's great. Magic's easy, just draw what you need. I'll do it again, I swear. I'll do it again. This is an all Doomblades on deck matchup. Kind of feel like it might be. Is it a Reidane? What am I trimming here? Is it just some mix of Defiant Strikes and Fight as ones? I'm increasing my threat density. I'm not really, I'm just adding these. I'm cutting this. I feel like it's Defiant Strike out. Is that crazy? I guess that kills our draw engine. I could just be a coward and like fully trim around the edges. I could like go 1-1-2. Just like not commit to anything. I think God's Willing's actually better than Fight is one. Maybe I split these 3-3. God's Willing saves from Claim the Firstborn, which is nice. Yeah, let's try this. It's like turn into like red-white feather mid-range. I don't know. I think when we're boarding, that was in a time before we had what's it called? Okay, so I think I want to say Clifftop Retreat tapped on 1. So this way, if they Arcanist on 2, I can go untapped land Baffling End it. That is probably also worth Baffling Ending, I think. All right, chat, pop quiz. Why didn't I play Spikefield Hazard? Oh, they might have built into better things. Nice, nailed it. So I didn't play Spikefield because of Archfiend's Vessel here. So when this comes into play, if you kill it, they don't get the 5/5. Okay, and then I think this Luris, what did they have village rates? They still don't get the 5/5. Yes, Lego. Also, the 3rd point of toughness means you can Reckless Rage with Honor Guard. Okay, so I think we start with this and offer a trade. Which they'll decline, almost most likely, and then we'll play Cage post-combat. It could be right to just hold this back to block, though, too, because it's lifelinks. The way this game is playing out definitely makes me think having all our removal in is correct. Drawing this many threats feels bad here. Really wish I had more Abrades and Stomps and stuff like that to answer their threats. Yep. That's true. There is a good chance the 2/2 just dies too. Probably just doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, I agree with that, Lagos. I would like to see Claim the Firstborn banned from this format. I think the format would be a better place without that card in it. Nah, I think Feather's stat line is good enough here, and I want it when I draw any of my other cards that it's worth leaving them in, Wargy. I already boarded down on threats, trimming Arcanist, so I think I want to leave in the cards that I have. I mean, if their hand is mediocre here, we have a real shot if we draw like an Abrade. Like, we've got Grafdigger's Cage locking down all this nonsense. Hey, Mose, thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. I will have a video talking about HA4 posted on its own this evening. Scale of 1 to dead. No, but you took my 10th District Legionnaire. How can Feather also be my firstborn if 10th District Legionnaire was my firstborn opponent? Can I get a flavor judge? Stupid Magic Arena bugs. Definitely twins. That's true, though, actually. If they're twins, there's still a twin that was firstborn, chat. Come on now, the twins don't pop out at the same time. I'm gonna let you in on Magic's non-rotating format's most dirty little secret, chat. Don't mulligan against Thoughtseize decks. If your hand has lands and spells, you should keep. Mulliganing to a hand that has better spells than this is just asking to get Thoughtseized and die. Really would love for them to play another one of these, but there's 2 in the bin, so the chance of that is low. Obs should have held this as a spell. Alright, no Thoughtseize at least. There. Really need a Chandra or a Skalds here to get into this game to have a chance, I think. We hit either of those, we might be okay. Outside of that, we're gonna have a hard time powering through what the opponents put together here. Another land is okay. Yeah, that's something. They're gonna get this online and just bury us from here on out. Cage would have also bought us a little bit of time there. Spinning. So, thoughts. I feel like in spite of that last game, I would probably go up to a 26th land in this deck. I think especially in the post-board games where we're boarding into these Chandras, having 7 4+ mana things means I would like access to 26 mana sources. And now I think you could make an argument for either 3rd Spikefield or 4th Shatterskull. Both of these cards are very reasonable in this format as far as spell lands are concerned. We only have 20 actual lands in this deck, so like 6 spell lands and 20 actual lands would be good. Maybe Steep or something that might work with Feather. Oh, that's a thought. I forgot about that one. That could be sweet. Sajiri Shelter could be another spell land worth testing. Like maybe you try a 2/2/2 split on this, because this effect is like obviously it's worse than God's Willing at 2 mana, but like this effect is good and it's something you're in the market for. So I don't hate that idea either.
It is one more tapped land, but like I think you could afford four tapped lands in here. Yeah, I think that sounds like a sweet idea to try. I don't hate that at all. I think I like this main deck. The Showdown of the Skalds overall, definitely. This card feels like it helps address two core problems that the Feather archetype has, which is one, you can't find the right mix of spells and creatures because you just aren't seeing enough cards. This helps you see more cards. And having a high impact draw like this in the late game is very good at helping you in the attrition matchups. And this combined with Chandra especially really felt like it gave this archetype some of that longer game oomph that it was often missing against things like that last deck that we played. I know we flooded in the third game, but in general, this plan seems to be good there. So, yeah. All right. At any rate, thanks for the deck submission. I'm blanking on the username, from Shuffleton. If you're still here, I appreciate it. I am off for the afternoon. Thanks everybody for hanging out. This weekend, I will be live tomorrow as well as Sunday, a little bit later than normal. I'm playing in standard tournaments this weekend. They will be streamed on a delay. And I will hopefully see all of y'all around for them. Remember, if you can't catch them, they'll be uploaded with downtime cut out on my YouTube channel. If you're looking for my reactions to Historic Anthology 4, I'm going to be uploading that as a separate video there. It's in the middle of this video, but it'll also be on its own video as well. So thanks everybody for hanging out, and I'll be back with more Magic stuff, non-tournament stuff on Monday, of course. So peace, folks. Yeah, we're going to start Ratchet and Clank next week for sure. Dr. Mr. Punny, 100%. Starting Ratchet and Clank next week. Probably Monday. Mythgard, we're going to go back to doing Mythgard Tuesday, Thursday. Probably Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're going to do Ratchet and Clank next week. All right.